let's jump into it, Lori. Let's talk about gratitude. Can
Yes.
you tell me what excites you so much about gratitude?
Well, to start with, from an energetic standpoint, and we are all energetic beings, everything is made of energy. Gratitude is the highest energetic vibration you can get to. It's love, the same way as love and joy and gratitude, they're all supercharged energetically. And so when you are in the state of gratitude, like you can't get any higher. And I mean that in like every sense of the word.
Wow, that's very interesting. Gratitude is the highest we can go. So that means that all of us should be reaching to obtain that level of gratitude. What got you into this, Lori?
That is an interesting question. And, I don't even know 100% that I can trace back to like, where did I start talking or getting interested in gratitude? But however, in 2003, I started my first company and I was making a cookie that was based on a family recipe. And the name, the gratitude cookie, came about through a mastermind conversation because that was about the time that the movie The Secret came out. You might remember, and they were talking about the gratitude rock. And so I was part of this mastermind and we were talking about the cookies and somebody else in the mastermind. And this is why it's so important to be around other people who can fuel your creativity, because you don't come up with all the good ideas on your own. So we were in this group and we were talking, and one of the other people said, "These are like gratitude cookies." And I'm like, yes. And so that product became known worldwide as the gratitude cookie. And I was marketing it as a way for businesses to say thank you to their clients and to people who sent them referrals. And so as I was building that business, I was doing a lot of speaking about gratitude and how to use gratitude to differentiate your business and to use it as a way to market yourself. And so that's where I really started talking about gratitude. And then it just kind of evolved from there.
Wow, Lori, I remember the gratitude rock. I remember the gratitude rock. But you know what? That's an interesting and yummy spin on gratitude. The gratitude
Right.
cookie. Where are those at now, Lori?
Yeah. Well, I ran that business for 11 years. I couldn't scale it the way would have liked to. And I ended up shutting it down. So I sold all the equipment. People still come to me to this day and are like, "Those cookies, are you ever going to start that business again?" I'm like, "I sold all the equipment." And there's a lot that goes into manufacturing a food product with no preservatives and shipping it all over the world. Like there's just so many factors that make it really challenging that's not likely to ever come back again, at least not on a commercial level. But so many great lessons learned out of that. And the irony of it was, when I started that business, I was not actually a very grateful person. And my mentor called me out on it and gave me an exercise to practice that let me share this. Maybe your listeners can benefit. So I was complaining about whatever the challenge or problem of the day was. And my mentor said, "You need to read chapter 7, I believe it is, in The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles." Are you familiar with this book?
Yes, very much familiar with that book.
Okay, so chapter 7 is on gratitude. And he said, "Lori, you need to read chapter 7 every day, twice a day for the next 30 days. That was the challenge he gave me. And I said, "All right, Paul, I'm up for that challenge." And I did it. It's, for people who are listening, the chapter is about 3 or 4 pages long. It's not a really long chapter, but reading it, it's amazing. This book was put out in the 1920s or 30s, I think the beginning of 1930s. And it is, the information in there, when you're reading it today, like it could have been written yesterday. It's so relevant. Anyway, I did this reading of the twice a day for 30 days. And at the end of 30 days, I always joke around when I'm doing presentations on stages. I'm like, yeah. And then at the end of 30 days, Oprah's team called me and they wanted to put the gratitude cookies in Oprah's favorite things. And everybody's like, what? That's amazing. I'm like, yeah, that didn't happen. It
No
truthfully,
worries, Lori. You can send it to me and I can put it on the list of Kimberly's favorite things.
yes. Oh, that would be even better. So yeah, no, honestly, nothing happened at the end of 30 days. Like there was no noticeable change, but a few months later, my husband and at the time and I were driving home from a friend's house at Thanksgiving. Again, irony of it was Thanksgiving evening. We're driving home up I-95 and smoke starts pouring out in front of my car. And I managed to pull off the road and kind of at the next exit and just like roll into a gas station that was right there off the exit and call a tow truck. And as we were sitting there waiting for the tow truck to come at 11:30 at night, instead of going into a rant, which is normally what I would have done, right? Everybody's been there. I can't believe this is happening. It's a holiday. Like your hair's on fire. You're angry. No, instead, I went immediately to gratitude. Thank goodness I was able to get off the highway safely. Thank goodness we're only 5 miles from home. Thank goodness a tow truck driver is coming to get us at 11:30 on Thanksgiving night. Like all of this gratitude. And that's where I noticed the shift.
Thank goodness you were safe, Lori.
Yeah.
And what did that shift do for you?
From that point, that's where it was almost like I automatically will look for the gratitude in situations. So that was an potentially annoying, frustrating, anger-inducing situation. And that's not where I went. I went instead to gratitude. And from then on, that's when it totally shifted how I see things. So it's not that I don't get angry and frustrated and sad and feel the emotions. I'm still human, as we all are. And it's not about not feeling the emotions. It's about finding the gratitude within the situation, regardless.